Okay, so we're going to cover what's called matrix multiplication, and matrix multiplication is really cool. Okay, at least I think it is, but I'm your math teacher. So you cannot multiply every matrix to every other matrix. It has to meet certain qualifications. So every matrix has dimensions. Okay, and they are number of rows by the number of columns. So if we're going to multiply matrix A by matrix B, we have to make sure that we don't run out of numbers. So the row number and column number of A as compared to the row number and column number of B, these two have to match. Okay, so in order to multiply, the column number, whoops, of the first matrix must be equal to the row number of the second matrix. Okay, so you can only multiply two matrices at a time. Okay, so you can't, like, you know how, like, if you're given 2 times 3 times 3, you can do it really fast in your head and say 18. Matrix multiplication doesn't really work like that. So first you have to check if is your multiplication possible. And then what I like to do is be aware of the resulting size because that kind of helps. So let's take a 2 by 2 matrix. Let's just say 2 by 2 by a 2 by 4. Okay, that is possible because these two are equal. The resulting matrix, the product, will be a 2 by 4 matrix. Okay? Let's try another one. Let's do 3 by 5. So I have a 3 by 5 matrix, and I'm going to multiply it by a 5 by 1. This is possible. Our inner dimensions match, and our resulting matrix is a 3 by 1. Okay? 2 by 3, 2 by 3 is not possible because these two are not equal. So this would literally have no product. Okay? All right. Now the thing to know is that matrix multiplication is based on dot product. Okay? So let's review dot product really fast. Now, you guys only did dot product for horizontal and vertical components, but it's kind of the same idea. So we did A times C plus B times D. We're going to use that same operations with matrices, but it's going to be a little bit extended. Okay, so let's just jump ahead and try one. Okay, so this is a 2 by 2 matrix times a 2 by 3 matrix. So that means my product should be another 2 by 3. Okay, so what I like to do is I lose track of things really easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically write myself out a fill in the blank. Okay, and I'm going to 2 by 3. So that looks like this. Okay, so, and when you multiply, you're going to multiply first row by first column. So same number of the row by, or dot, the number of the column. So if you do first row by first column, that will give you the first row and first column entry of the product matrix. So first row dot first column will give you the first row, first column entry in the product matrix. So if you do the second row by the third column, that's going to give you the second row, third column entry. Okay, now this is going to seem super confusing when you do it the first time, but you do get used to it. Okay, I like to use colors and circles and things like that. So we're going to go for our first entry. So we're going to go first row, first column. We're going to go 3 times 4 plus 4 times 1. Now we're going to move to the second column. First row again. So 3 times 3 plus 4 times 7. 3 times 3 plus 4 times 7. Move across again. And what you do is you find yourself, you kind of get into a rhythm, believe it or not. 3 times a negative 2 plus 4 times a negative 1. Okay, so we've finished the first row of our product matrix. Now we're going to move to the second row. So we move down to the second row, and then we move along our columns. So negative 1 times 4 plus negative 3 times 1. Negative 1 times 3, then plus a negative 3 times a 7, and then negative 1 times negative 2 plus negative 3 times a negative 1. Okay, so if I start doing all of that arithmetic, my final answer is 12 plus 4. 12 plus 4 is 16. Then let's see, 9 and 28, 37. Negative 6 and negative 4 is negative 10. Oops. Okay, negative 1 and negative 3, or excuse me, negative 4 and negative 3, negative 7. Let's see, negative 3 and negative 21, negative 24. Positive 2 and positive 3 is positive 5. Let me move that negative 10 over a bit so it matches a little bit better. And there we go, we're all done. Okay, so we're going to try one more all together. And again, you do kind of get into a rhythm of it. This one I'm going to go a little faster. Probably you're sitting there thinking, well, she went pretty fast on the last one. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit bigger matrix now. Okay, let's see if it's even possible. So this is a 4 row by 2 column, and this is a 2 by 2. So I should get a 4 by 2 matrix out. There's my 4 rows. Two columns. Okay. Five times 2 is 10. 2 times 4 is 8. Then 5 times a negative 5 is a negative 25. Then 2 times a negative 1, that's a negative 2. Moving down. Negative 4 times a 2 is a negative 8. 4 times a 6 is a 24. Negative 4 times a negative 5 is a positive 20. 6 times a negative 1 is a negative 6. Moving down. 3 times a 2 is a 6. 0 times a 4 is a 0. Moving across again, negative 15 and 0. 1 and 3, so 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 4 is 12. 1 times a negative 5, and 3 times a negative 1. Beautiful. So if I work that out, and then we're all done. Okay? So as soon as you give yourself some time to get used to it, and then it's not so bad. Okay? Let's try one more. So that's a 3 by 3 times a 3 by 2. So I get a 3 by 2 back out. Okay, now you're multiplying 3 numbers, which is fine. You're just going to go first times first, second times second, third times third. Okay, so that's going to be 15, negative 8, positive 2. Moving down, I'm going to move down instead of across. Negative 9, 0, 8. And you can do this either way. 6, positive 2, positive 3. Now we're going to move across. 5 times 0 is 0. 4 times 1, then 10. 0, 0, 40, 0, negative 1, 15. Let's do your addition. So that would be 9, -1, 11, 14, 40, and 14 again. All right, that's matrix multiplication. It's pretty fun. I'm going to show you how to do it on the Desmos graphing calculator. I know that Edgenuity has a calculator built in, but if you go to Desmos, there is also one there.